What's up, gang? What is going on? What is going on? I'll let people file in here. It is now Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day, 8:23 in the morning. We got a baseball video uploading. We got a first look at the NBA Finals, this $1 million showdown uploading. My takes on what we need to know early on. It's not the projections like usual. It's an OG first take if you remember from NFL. I'm looking at the salaries for the first time. It's my first reaction at all that stuff. So I kind of break it down when I'm seeing what's going to be important. And yeah, now we're here live streaming. It's Memorial Day. It's 8:24 in the morning. I don't expect many people to be up, first of all, although if you get up this early, you're ahead of the game. But I don't expect many people to be up. But again, this will be archived, so it's a live chat. I've titled it the NBA Finals first stream, whatever you want to call it. If people want to hop in and ask questions, they can. But I'll just talk about it. We have the NBA Finals. I have the MLB sheet up. All that stuff on Patreon. I've updated a lot of stuff on Patreon, coaching, things like that. And yeah, so NBA, all this stuff, whatever it might be. Tyler says he used a line from some guy on Twitter's, and it was bad, pretty much. I've toned that down to the vulgar behind it. But, yeah, I mean, look, people can be incredible DFS players and sell their lineups, and they're not going to hit every night. So that's why buying people's lineups is a bad idea. And if it was free, that's why using other people's lineups is a bad idea, because you're pretty much taking and saying what they are doing for just gospel. And at that point, why are you putting your money behind somebody else's words if they're not some sort of certified professional? Or in DFS, everybody's trying to fake to be a certified professional. If they're that good, they don't want to be giving out their winning lineups. They want to teach you how to play. Got 3 free entries into the NBA. Yeah, Josh, me too. I got 3 tickets as well. I didn't get them for free, but I played like 25 cents or $1 little contests here and there. And I honestly don't even know how I got them. I guess I just entered into everything that wasn't full yet towards the end of NBA season. If there's like only half the field is, or only half of a 50-person qualifier is in. I didn't even see what the qualifier was for. But yeah, I've got some entries into NBA. It's going to be interesting. My brother gives me MLB every night. It's like 100% success. I doubt it. It's definitely not 100% success, especially in MLB. I don't want to call you out, but I'm calling you out. That's not true. MLB is so hard. If you've been doing this for a week and you've won every single day, you're about to hit a very big downward spiral, because that's how variant this sport is. Nobody wins 100%. Awesome has been banking tournaments, right? $200,000 made millions, $50K the other day, $50K and $100K a week ago. And he's not winning anywhere near 100% of the time. It's not even close, especially in a tournament. If in cash you're winning 55, 60% of the time, that's like elite top 1%. So in tournaments, if you're getting anywhere near a percentage of that number in cash, that's really good. Not 100% though, nowhere close. I've been doing this for a good amount of time. I know what the odds and percentages are. But yeah, let's chat NBA, live chat for it. Look, I think there's a couple of things that I break down in the video that are going to be very crucial in not winning you $1 million. You're not going to win $1 million. Look, you're not going to win. The odds of you even just tying for first are slim. You're not going to tie for first. Look, I'm not trying to make anybody sad here, but we have the option to, or the possibility to, right? 1 in 117,000 at winning this million. It's not going to happen, but there's a couple of things if you want to have success that we need to kind of try and predict, because game 1 and game 2 of any new series is great for information, or great to get an edge as much as you can in a showdown. Game 1 more so because nobody knows what's going to happen, and if you predict the proper game flow, or you're just tracking news better than other people, which is tough to do in this day and age, you're going to be very successful in game 1. Game 2 is the ability to see what happened in game 1, see what was real, see what was not, and let people overreact to what was not real, or just even if it was a guy getting a certain amount of minutes, let people overreact to that. But for game 1 for this series, there's a decent amount of things that I think we have to look out for. Obviously, injury news. It doesn't seem like Durant or Cousins are coming back. But Iguodala is pretty important, right? If Iggy comes back, I think Kawhi guards Iggy. And Iggy definitely guards Kawhi, which helps out your Draymonds, helps out your Klay Thompsons, because they're not going to have Kawhi on them nearly as much, or if at all. And they're not going to have to defend Kawhi, which is a whole project in and of itself, and probably takes away from your offensive game a little bit. So I think Iggy's status is important, and if Iggy is out, well then a can of worms kind of opens here, or at least right now a can of worms for me, because it probably means McKinney continues to start at the 3 unless they go with some sort of different rotation. And if McKinney's starting at the 3, I don't see the reason for Kawhi Leonard to be guarding Alfonso McKinney. There's nothing about that needs to be neutralized. Alfonso McKinney is an offensive neutralizer in his own skill because he's not good. So that leads me to believe if Iggy is out and we do get McKinney starting, this gets scary for a lot of guys on the Golden State side, because Kawhi is now not going to stay on Iggy, and I imagine he leans towards Klay. I want to say he leans towards Draymond, but Draymond is not a a scorer. He's not somebody you have to neutralize. He's a guy who will get rebounds and assists and some steals, maybe a block. That's where he picks up his ceiling fantasy games. So the thing is with Draymond that I don't think he sees Kawhi coverage or nearly as much. Look, this is the thing. This is why it's so difficult to predict who Kawhi is going to guard. And I think this is the biggest thing for this showdown slate is who does Kawhi Leonard guard? That's the biggest thing. And I think it becomes a lot less straightforward if Iguodala is out because there's no reason to put him on McKinney. And we would know who this would be if we had a regular season sample, but KD's already going to be out, and that's who Kawhi guarded during the regular season. So I imagine his replacement is Iggy, and I imagine that's who Kawhi Leonard sticks on because the matchups elsewhere just make sense for that to happen. Pascal on Draymond, Marc Gasol on Jordan Bell or Kevon Looney, whoever starts there. Lowry on Steph, and then your Danny Green or your Norman Powell's, whoever's going to start at the 2, probably Danny Green, is going to be on your Klay Thompsons. That makes a lot of sense to me if Iggy starts. If Iggy doesn't start, I have no idea what happens. I think that you could see Kawhi guarding Klay, which Josh asks, do you think using Klay as a captain would be good? I like Klay's price. I like Klay a decent amount because he's taking over 21 shots since KD's been out. But if Iggy's out, I have a lot of worries about Klay Thompson here. I just think that he might get the Kawhi Leonard treatment, which obviously we just saw Giannis get that for around 2.5 games, and he got pretty neutralized, Giannis, for being one of the best players in the league. Now you're going to tell me that Klay, whose only real game is taking 2 dribbles to the foul line and hitting a jump shot or hitting an off-the-shot 3 where Kawhi Leonard can neutralize that, that's scary. So I don't know who Kawhi guards. If Iggy's in, I think it's a lot easier to say it's Iggy. If he's out, again, the matchups just lean me to believe that he goes more so towards a Klay Thompson because there's no reason to waste Kawhi's great defense on a guy who's a bum in Alfonso McKinney. And I don't think you get Kawhi going down to Draymond because he's not as big of a scoring threat. And 2, you have Pascal Siakam, who probably matches up a little bit better. So in terms of the series, that's the biggest question. How do we discover that? We break down into see who Kawhi guarded more so when KD in the regular season, that's who Kawhi guarded, but now he's out. Who did he guard after that? I imagine it was Iggy, but I'm not positive. That's the biggest question in the series. Another question that comes up is the Warriors' style of play has neutralized centers. You saw Zubac not even playing in that first series towards the middle to end of the series. JaMychal Green was starting at the 5. They played smaller. Clint Capella's minutes were getting limited a lot, and you saw a lot of P.J. Tucker at the 5 against the Rockets. You saw last series a lot of Enes Kanter's minutes neutralizing and coming down as the series went on, and you saw Myers Leonard starting. So teams played small against the Warriors. I'm not sure that happens here. The Raptors have to play big. The guy who's going to come in for Marc Gasol, if they tried to play small, I mean, I guess you could put Pascal at the 5, right, and not play Ibaka or Marc Gasol, but that seems like a big disadvantage for the Raptors. And Marc Gasol is not the same type of center as those other guys were. Zubac, Clint Capella, and Enes Kanter, a couple of things. They're not nearly as good on defense as Marc Gasol is. 2, they can't shoot the 3 anywhere near, or shoot in general anywhere near as good as Marc Gasol is. So he's not a liability in terms of you have to score to keep up with the Warriors. Marc Gasol can score. He can hit threes. He's a good 3-point shooter. He can play defense. So he's a guy who I don't think he gets played off the court because of the style of play of this Warriors team. And although I don't think you see it, I think that there's a decent chance that well, maybe not a decent chance. I don't think you see it, but I think there's a chance that the Warriors might have to play a little bit closer to the Raptors' skill set here. The Raptors, I don't think, will be going down and playing small ball with the Warriors because maybe at times they will in the game. You might get your Fred VanVleets out there with your Lowrys and Pascal at the 5, and you get Kawhi at the 4, and I don't even know who you get at the 3 then. Maybe you get a Fred VanVleet with a Norman Powell or Danny Green, and you have a lot of shooters out there. That's possible. But there's also the possibility that Andrew Bogut, a guy who's seen 2 minutes, 3 minutes a game in the last series, he might get some more run because you just need some size. I don't know. I don't know how this plays out. That's another thing. Those are the 2 biggest question marks I have right now. Who does Kawhi Leonard guard? I think that's the most important. Who the heck is Kawhi going to guard in this series? If Iggy is out. If Iggy's in, I think you can at least comfortably think that it's Iggy that he guards. If he's out, it might be Klay Thompson, and I think it very well could be Klay Thompson, and that hurts Klay. If Iggy's in, well, it could still be a little bit of Klay, but I like Klay a lot more if Kawhi's not on him the whole time. Number 2, what style of play is going to happen? Early on, I don't think that it's going to be Gasol getting played off the court. Maybe in a game 3, a game 4, if Gasol's not playing well, not knocking down his shots, they go to a smaller lineup. But he's not that same type of center as we've seen in the past 3 series against Golden State, and the Raptors play a totally different way. Keep in mind, this is going to be the hardest defensive series for Golden State that they face all playoffs long, and really all year long. So a lot of guys can get neutralized. I would not be surprised if Steph goes out and has a bad game, especially on the road. And the thing that people are really sleeping on it. I don't watch ESPN, so maybe they're not. The Raptors played the final 3 games of the regular season with their starters playing full run, really, and they won those games to get the best record in the league to now have home field advantage against Golden State. That's pretty significant. Having an extra game in Toronto, starting the series off and ending the series potentially Game 7 in Toronto, where their fan base is obviously, one, home field in general is great, especially in basketball, but their home field advantage is incredible. And so is the Warriors, so not having to go there for an extra game, that's pretty damn good. Sal speaking the truth. What's up, Jeffrey Smith? Sal speaking the truth to nonsense. Never change Sal. Yeah, definitely, no problem. Thoughts on Gasol at captain? Myers Leonard shredded them with less of a skill set. Yeah, exactly. So Myers Leonard is a different player than Marc Gasol, like a lot different of a player. But I think that Gasol at captain, I've been playing around with the lines a little bit. Gasol's what, 6K? He's too cheap. I think the most underpriced guy is Looney at 48 on the entire slate. You could even go Jordan Bell at 2,000 as underpriced, but they have a lot tougher matchups than Marc Gasol has. Yeah, Gasol's not as, I would say, nimble as a Myers Leonard, and they score in different ways, and Gasol's really dependent on his 3 and his shooting, more so than his just getting into the lane and getting closer to the rim. So I think Gasol's a viable captain. I think you have to go mid to lower tier in a captain spot, which is scary. I want Leonard. I want Steph, although I think Steph can kind of come out flat. I think he can, but I don't think it's very likely when you take into account that he's going to take 25 to 30 shots in this game without KD and Boogie. So I want Leonard, obviously. I want Steph. I even want Draymond. I like Draymond as the MVP of the finals here. If the Warriors win, it's going to be between Draymond and Steph, unless KD comes back before like Game 3 and has an actual meaningful impact on the series. So I like Draymond a lot in this series, but for me to get those 3 players, I have to, one, leave out Siakam, I have to leave out Klay Thompson and Lowry, which is scary, but I get those 3 players, and I have to come down. I probably have to leave out Marc Gasol too. I like Gasol as a captain option, but I'm probably going to have to go even cheaper for a captain option if I want those 3 guys. Skylar, what's going on, man? How did your PGA lineups end up? Oh, terrible. Terrible. And the thing that stinks is Na won the whole thing, and I just tinker with my lineups, and one of my tinkers was landing on Na about 5 minutes before lock, but obviously it wasn't a guy that I felt great about, a lineup that I felt great about. I wasn't prioritizing him. He just fit in. And then I ended up getting some other schmo in there. 7,500 like Alphabet Man I went with instead and got up to my Ricky Fowler. And that obviously stunk, both missing the cut. At PGA this week, I knew I was done literally at like 9:30 on Thursday. I didn't even get a cut sweat when Ricky Fowler and Alphabet Man both are playing terrible. I didn't even get a cut sweat, and nobody was playing that great for me at all. They did terrible. I think Gasol could be a game changer if Cousins doesn't come back. Yeah, I don't think Cousins is coming back, at least not for Game 1. Nowhere. I definitely don't think he's coming back for Game 1. I think he could be a game changer. I don't think he gets played off the court. He could very well be that captain option here. He's been playing a lot better at home. He's still getting the minutes. He's, again, a guy who's going to be out there for both defense, but also offensive, hitting the 3. So, yeah, I think Gasol can be fine here. I have to build lineups and see what I get because you're going to be forced to leave off, especially when KD comes back, just studs. You're going to be forced to leave off a Kawhi, Steph, or a Draymond if you go Gasol as captain. And it might be very easy to say, well, I'm going to leave off Draymond, but keep in mind, this guy is playing at an absolutely different level, especially with no KD and no Boogie. So I can see Kawhi guarding Draymond. Perfect matchup for Kawhi. Yeah, I can too, and that's where in the video I lean to say first. I like to say that I think Draymond could be in trouble here, but what does Draymond really threaten the Raptors with? Not scoring. And, I mean, if you're putting Kawhi on a guy to neutralize him, it's because of scoring. Draymond will still get his assists, and he'll likely still get his rebounds. And that's where, really, Draymond thrives. Assists, rebounds, pick up 2 steals, pick up a block or 2, and then just get us 10 points for your triple-double upside 55, 60-point game. So he's not going to kill them, right? Draymond's not going to be killing the Raptors scoring-wise, and nowhere near that. Klay is much more of a threat to kill you and burn you for 30 real points than Draymond is. And if Iggy's in, I think they just stick him on Iggy. Neely, I don't know how to say I don't want to pronounce your first name wrong. Marquis Neely. You think Iguodala holds Kawhi? Look, is Iguodala playing? Is there an update on that yet? I don't think he holds Kawhi, no, but I think he's going to be on him. Is considered probable for Game 1. Okay, that's good. I should have looked at that way earlier. So do I think Iggy holds Kawhi? No, but Iggy will be on Kawhi, just like Iggy was on LeBron for all those finals. So, yeah, Iggy's going to be on him, probably out there for 36 minutes or so. And I think Kawhi likely stays on Iggy. Maybe shades to Klay a little. It makes sense for him to go on Draymond because Draymond's such an important piece of the Warriors, but he's not an important piece in terms of pure scoring. How do you feel about Tommy Malone pitching against the Rangers tonight? Only one start so far, but he's lefty in a friendly park. Yeah, Eric, I have nothing to do with the night slate, to be honest with you. I'm all early slate. I'm the 10 slate. So I haven't even looked. Morning, brother. What's going on? Morning, James. So I really don't even know what the night slate is. How big of a slate is it for MLB? So it's a 4 game slate. That's decent sized. I likely won't play it due to the bigger size main slate. Yeah, I haven't done a breakdown yet for I haven't done like this pitching sheet yet for the night slate, but I will. And I guess you could ask me questions on Twitter about it, but I will. And then yeah, you can ask me questions about it on Twitter. It could also be there's a lot of things that I added to Patreon as well. So now not only is the golf stuff updated, NBA projections are still there, but there's MLB sheet now, the pitcher sheet, and then an NBA hitter sheet will be coming. You can get all the sports at once for people that asked about wanting multiple sports and not having to pay a discount. There's all the sports at once, and I also added something that's kind of cool. Haven't really announced it outside of the Discord. Just DFS coaching in private Facebook. So pretty much a 1 hour coaching call. I then send you a report afterwards of sort of like an action plan. Give you my bankroll tool that I use that I made in terms of not getting out of your mind and putting all your money in play because you played well or because you're playing bad and you want to win it all back. No, that's a good way to lose all your money. So my bankroll tool, contest selection based on your skill set, and just some other things that I'm seeing in your lineups for whatever sport it is. Hour call, we do that, and then you get access to the Facebook group for the month and for really as long as you want. And ask me any questions. You can ask me. I answer everybody's questions right now, and if I don't on Twitter or something, just know that I probably have like 30 questions coming in a day right now. So if I didn't answer yours, it's just because I got tired of answering a ton of questions for that day, or I really just lost it in the shuffle. So I apologize. But yeah, for that Facebook group, that'll all be prioritized. Notifications on for those, and yeah. Golden State wins in 6, says Donald. Any sneakerheads? I need website for new kicks, says Donald. No, I used to be a sneakerhead. I slept outside for the infrared 10s. I still have them in my closet right now. I like 10s a lot, but nowhere near sneakerhead anymore. There's a lot better things I can put my money into personally, or really more so save my money. If you're flipping sneakers, that's a pretty good idea. Makes decent money. But Golden State wins in 6. Conservative, or the realistic side of me wants to say 5. But with no KD, the way Kawhi is playing, I'll say they push it to 6. The fact that the first 3 out of or 4 of those games are going to be played, then you're telling me if they win in 6, they're going to win 3 of those games in Toronto. I guess maybe not 3, but yeah. I like the all-day one, says Eric. Yeah, the problem with the all-day ones is there's no prize pool. So if you're playing cash, that's fine, but there's no prize pool for the all-day ones for MLB. Like, we're looking here on the 10-game slate, and you have a couple 50K to first, 20K to first, a lot of qualifier opportunities. If you're telling me to play the all-day slate, what am I winning? If I bink something, I'm winning at most. Look at this. Like, this is terrible. I mean, maybe FanDuel has something else, but the highest prize I can win on the all-day slate is $75. That's terrible. Why am I trying to even play today? I don't think Kawhi can keep up with as much running and screening Clay and Curry present. He's been super exhausted in the last round, but I think most of that was due to holding the Greek Freak. I'd agree with that for Curry. I would not agree with that for Clay. Curry is a guy who runs around a ton, right? But for Clay, not as much. And I think that putting Clay on, I think it's an interesting thing. I'll be interested. I think it makes the most sense to put Leonard on, if you're just looking at it from a high level in a vacuum, Leonard on Draymond, right? But you have Pascal Siakam. So who is Pascal Siakam? Just think about this realistically. If we get the same starting rotations as we had, and you're going to tell me that Leonard is going to guard Draymond to start. One, I don't think that's possible now because Iggy is starting, so I think he just guards Iggy. But then you're telling me that Leonard's on Draymond, or Siakam's on Iggy, which is not adding up well. Bell or Looney, whoever with Gasol, fine. Clay with Danny Green to start, and then Lowry and Curry. Okay, I think that makes some sense, but I think it makes way more sense for Kawhi to just guard Iggy, who is probably more of a scoring threat than Draymond. And you're going to say, Sal, how the hell is Iggy more of a scoring threat? Just pure scoring ability. You're not neutralizing Draymond as a scorer if you put Kawhi on him. I feel like it's sort of a waste. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good, Kemper. What's going on, Kemper Brody? How you doing? Paul, can Lowry hold his own against Curry? Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Lowry definitely can. Lowry is a very good point guard defender in this league. He's underrated because of the team that he's on, where you have the best defender in Kawhi, a very good center defender, if not one of the best, in Marc Gasol and a very, very good defender. They're all very, very good, right? Danny Green, Pascal Siakam. Lowry can definitely hold his own against Curry. The problem is Curry can shoot from anywhere in the court, and he doesn't need to be defended. He'll pull up 5 feet behind a guy's hand and shoot it. So I could think he can hold his own. I play cash. Yeah, Eric, that's definitely fair then. If you're playing the all-day slate, you have more options in cash, and you can still get your $1, your $2, your $3, your $5 entries all in. So, yeah, I think that makes sense. Hi, Sal. How are you? I finished first during the last Golden State NBA game, second half. Second quarter. Wow, in-game showdown. That's interesting. Thanks, your insights. Made $2,800 for the first time in DraftKings. Keep it up. Nice job, my man. Dan, you got a second quarter or second half $2,800 bink? Jesus Christ. Talk about the different game modes that they got going on DraftKings. Everybody's in. You took advantage of it. Nice job. Danny Green will play better. Watch, says Anthony White. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard for him not to. I mean, I don't know how many minutes they give him. Like, his minutes are dwindling. And, yeah, you need scores in this series against Golden State. But Fred VanVleet in the last 3 games, mainly the last 2 out of 3, not that last one. But even Fred VanVleet hit a clutch shot in that last game. He's been scoring way better than Danny Green. And he can score. So, he could play better. It's not that easy. It's not that hard for Danny Green to play better in this series because it's literally hit a goddamn shot. One. Like, literally hit one shot, Danny Green, and you're playing better. But in terms of, yeah, he's cheap. You can put him in. I think Golden State probably shut down Kawhi, plus he is a little fatigued. Yeah, I guess he's fatigued, but everybody is at this point. Yes, he's been doing much more for his team, especially since that Golden State's had a lot more time off, which is crazy to think about how much more time off they've had, like an extra week. But the whole fatigue thing, look, he's got like a week off too. He's got 5 or 6 days off. He's going to be fine. Kawhi's going to be fine. He'll get hydrated. He'll get whatever he needs. He's going to be fine for the series. He's not going to be completely dead, especially when you take into account that they're starting this series at home for this showdown slate, which is all we really care about right now for DFS, and that motivation factor. I'm not worried about Kawhi being fatigued. I think they can try and shut him down. Iggy is a guy who you put on a guy to try and limit him. So I'm not opposed on this showdown slate. I am really not opposed to fading anybody in terms of the upper tier. You cannot play Steph in a lineup and I'm fine. You cannot play Kawhi in a lineup and I'm fine because it's game 1 and somebody can get neutralized. It's obviously unlikely that both of those guys get neutralized or really maybe even one, but I'm fine not going there because they're both going to be 70+% owned. I think Milwaukee showed how to blow out the Raptors. They just didn't play smart to keep their lead. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. There's one guy on the team that can knock down shots, and it's Kawhi Leonard. In the clutch, or really at any point to build a lead, it's Kawhi. So stop Kawhi, or when he's off the court, take advantage of it. Well done, Jobert. Yeah, definitely well done. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Jobert? Jobert? It's definitely not Jobert. I don't know what I'm saying. Jobert? One of the videos is up. Yeah, NBA first look is up. Throwback to the NFL season when we were doing the first looks. And we also have the MLB about to post. I'm excited for MLB today. 10-game afternoon slate. It's very nice. Cool. Hell yeah. Any other questions? Because, yeah, I think that, look, people are going to try and play a lot more money for the showdown slate. Don't. If you have some tickets, play it. If you want to put a couple lineups in, sure. It's $25 to enter the showdown slate. Keep that in mind. You go by Joe. Perfect. What's going on, Joe? Only bet 5 and won $2,800. Now, that's a goddamn return on investment. Holy shit. Great job, man. So, yeah, I think that it's a $25 buy-in. This is not a cheap tournament buy-in for a tournament where your expectations of winning a lot of money are so much lower than anything else. The payout structure is terrible. Obviously, the million is getting everybody hooked in. But let's just say it. You're not going to win $1 million. Not because you might not win first, but because it's going to be split so many ways that the options are not there. Now, obviously, $1 million being split so many ways is much better than $100,000. You're still going to win more money. But what I'm trying to say is don't lose your ass today, or I guess Thursday, putting in 10, 20, 30 lineups unless you're somebody who knows what the heck you're doing. And even if you are, showdown's so varying. Don't put in hundreds of dollars into the showdown slate. Put that into a cash instead or something. And cash for MLB, I don't know. Just don't blow your money trying to be like, this is my one shot to win $1 million. No, it's not. The NFL's around the corner. Literally next week, golf has $1 million prize, which is a much better play. You can pay $100 in the golf with a 33,000 person pool. Or you could pay, and it's not a showdown slate, you have much better odds or people to choose from. Or you can play $117,000 for 25 each. It's a crappy payout structure. I have tickets, so I'll be playing. But I'm just trying to say, do not put month's rent into this saying, but wife, girlfriend, mom, dad, I can win $1 million. Because it's a lottery. Yes, the showdown slate on DraftKings is for $1 million. $1 million to first. Yes, yeah, it's kind of crazy. We can look at the format, or you look at the breakdown of it. Look at this payout structure. It is so bad. I mean, it's going to be bad, right? Because the fact that $1 million, what is the overall prize pool is 2.5 million. Jesus Christ. So let's look at it this way, actually. Let me do a quick little calculation, I guess. 40% of the prize pool for the Millie Maker, and it's a Millie Maker, so we figure it. 40% of the prize pool is that much. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. 40% of the prize pool to first. I got 3 tickets, Donald. 3 tickets. Just literally don't even know how I won them. There was like one day that I won 2 and another day that I won 1. But the one day that I won 2 was something weird. It was like I was playing a showdown slate, the one that the Hawks and Trae Young won in overtime against the Bucks backup team. And I banked a showdown slate for the first time. It was nothing big. It was like a $1,000 prize. Are you doing MLB today, or is that another video you will be doing? No, yeah, Neely, the MLB video literally just uploaded, so I can kind of go to that right now. I switched Siakam for Lowry last night, or last slate. I take it down and split with one person. I switched Siakam for Lowry last slate. I take it down and split with one person. What does that mean? Campaign, you won? You split it? You won? What'd you do? That payout structure is that, yeah, Skylar. Payout structures for $1 million contests are always that bad. They're literally always the same. So it's not just Showdown or just NBA. Like NFL is just like that. Yeah, 100K a second. It stinks. But that's what it is. The idea is to get the promotion going so that people see $1 million and more people enter. And there's 117,000 people, so you can get more rake out of. And people just think all of a sudden they're going to win $1 million, which in the NFL you will. Somebody will win that million. You're not going to split it because there's so many options, but you're not winning $1 million. I know that there's been times where in the NFL you can showdown slates bink it. A lot of the times you can bink it by yourself because there's just different ways to build your lineups. There's so many few ways to build your lineups in the NBA because there's so many few viable players this late. There's like 15 viable players, or just guys who are going to see any minutes. And out of those 15, like 11 are viable to actually put in play. So it's so hard to get unique. Yeah, we all, it seems like we all got 3. I think this is the MLB video. So Draftkings, MLB, DFS. What's today? Monday. 5/27 picks. MLB DFS. Bang. Got some MLB DFS going on there. Where the hell is this logo now? There we go. Maxi Boy, Cover Boy. By far the best top pick, option on the slate. All right. So the person that won on FanDuel for 100K actually won it outright with this lineup. Yeah, FanDuel's different though. So yeah, we've seen a decent amount of binks for outright multiple times. You saw Big T from Roto Grinders do it. FanDuel's just totally different. That's the reason why. FanDuel, there's so many ways to be different because your top three spots out of your 5 players. Which, 5 players is a lot easier to just choose 5, but your top 3 can be put so many different ways that it's a lot easier to have one lineup. Whereas in DraftKings, you only have to differentiate really that one captain spot. So if so many people are picking the right captain, then and it's really like there's 5 guys viable each night to be a captain at this point. It's just so much easier to where am I going with this? It's just so much easier to have a duplicate lineup on DraftKings. FanDuel though, yeah, if you're playing FanDuel, it's a lot easier to bink it on your own because it's a lot harder, but it's a lot harder to actually win, but it's a lot easier to not have to split the money because there's so many ways to be different when you have 3 different options. Ursan was the nuts. Mirror Tick Window Licker. I don't know what Window Licker means. But yeah, Mirror Tick, yeah, he's been seeing less minutes. That was kind of projected. Where do we go? What am I trying to do here? MLB. There we go. Thanks. Who do you like as a captain on DK? Yeah, it's kind of too early for that, honestly. For me, it's a little bit too early for that because I just did the first look today. I literally just looked at the salaries an hour or 2 ago, so I have no idea yet. The first hunch that I get is you really can't go too expensive because you're just going to miss out on too many guys. Now, obviously, if Kawhi goes for 70 or Steph goes for 70, it's probably needed, but the options in the lower range, there's some viable ones, but the amount of points they're actually going to get you, not that great. So I personally am going to be going less. right, save. Is this video up yet? Yeah, so Captain, I'll get back to you later in the week. Wednesday, I'm going to make a breakdown video. I'm going to go live Thursday before the whole thing starts, before somebody tries to become a millionaire. I will play Draymond as DK on Thursday. I think playing Draymond and DK, I like that. He's one of the guys that I want to have. I think a lot of people are going to want to have Kawhi, Steph, and Draymond. Just they're not going to know how to make it work, and maybe it'll be a little too over-owned. Draymond on the road is a lock. I just think playoff Draymond's a lock. The guy's averaging like close to 50 fantasy points a night when you take into account his past few performances. He's averaging like 46 fantasy points a night in the entire playoffs. Not just when KD and Boogie have been out. Well, I guess Boogie for the most part, but he's a different animal when the playoffs are going. It's just that simple. He turns into his triple-double Draymond, 100% effort Draymond, want to win another title Draymond. That's it. He's the best competitor left in the playoffs, probably over Kawhi, which is crazy to say because Kawhi's been dominating. And now I'm putting these guys who are both in the finals 1A, 1B. But Draymond, in terms of competitor, like literally all out, yeah, Kawhi's right there too. Kawhi's a better shooter, and he's like a much better player than Draymond. They have different games. But if you're telling me who's like the overall guy who's just going to go all out, best actual just competitor, like diving, whatever it is, like getting all these stats, it's going to be Draymond for me. And he's so goddamn fun to watch. So is Kawhi, but it's just Draymond is consistent. Yeah, exactly. He's consistent as he can come. And I like Draymond a lot. The price points, though, for these guys, and we can go back to him. The price points for these guys is tough to get me anywhere near a Draymond and captain spot. It's like almost impossible, really. I'm just trying to look through. So if Iggy's back, I don't want him in a captain. I don't really want him at all if I think Kawhi is going to be on him. Yeah, the questions that have to be answered are the ones that were just said, and the biggest one is who does Kawhi Leonard primarily defend, because that's going to open up things for those other Warriors, and it's going to stink for the guys defending. What are your plans post-graduation? Yeah, I'm already graduated, so the plans right now is I have an apartment here in State College until August. Like, you have to sign a year lease. So instead of playing double apartment or double rent and going somewhere, I'm going to stay here during then. Been applying to jobs in just all different areas, hopefully in warmer weather, doing more so either consulting work or just types of business partner roles I've been applying to. This week, not today because it's Memorial Day, but this week and then next week, going to be doing some interviews starting tomorrow and seeing where I'm going. And then the whole idea and the whole goal with that is pay down this goddamn student debt as fast as possible, hopefully in a year, get it all out of the way, and then can really focus on some other things, continue to do all this YouTube stuff every single morning. I mean, it's easy to get it all done when you get up at 5 a.m. You're done by, at the latest, 8, and then most jobs aren't going to start till 9. So yeah, the plans post-college are continue to grow the YouTube, which, believe it or not, is very lucrative at this stage, and it's only been half of NFL season, where NFL season is, I guess, the moneymaker in terms of views and just people reaching out for advertising. So yeah, the monthly revenue that this, profits really that this YouTube as I got no expenses, that this YouTube channel generates is really well. So it's a great side hustle that's going to help me get out of that debt, work in a job, hopefully one that I do like, and ideally one that I do like. And yeah, move down south to where Raleigh and Austin. I have options or opportunities potentially in like Chicago. It's terrible weather there, but if the opportunity is good enough, it's worth it for however many years. So that's post-college. Right now, it's nothing secure, and I'm fine with that. A lot of people, I had a really great job offer. I wrote about it on my LinkedIn. Literally last July or last August, I had a great job offer, really well. Would have paid as better than I will get now, but sometimes money is just not worth it. And really, I would say money is never worth it over happiness, I would say. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Making $100,000 compared to $70,000, they can't see that $30,000 is going to actually make them miserable. So what are they working for? So, but I can see that personally. They need Dre to push the ball so Toronto can't set up that deadly half-court defense. I'd agree. Coincidentally, I graduated on May 11th from Champaign. Oh wait, with a master's degree of science in cybersecurity. Oh, okay, yeah, I know a couple of people. That's in Chicago, right, Joe? I know 2 people. I did my internship. I worked with GE. I did an internship in Silicon Valley with GE's digital unit. Leadership development HR program, very good program, very awesome. I love the people, and I had 2 people actually. A guy named Dylan, and I can't remember the last guy's name right now. But two people from that school. I believe it's in he's 2800. Joe says, Joe, you're a hacker, LOL. Yeah, right. Joe, you're cybersecurity. Yeah, can I get you I don't know what I can get you to do. If I make a website, just make sure that stuff's good and secure. 2800 was like my graduation present. Thanks, Al. Thanks a lot. Yeah, no problem. Awesome. If you have debt, put that right on the debt. Honestly, man, it's tough, but put that right on the debt. And if you don't, then for sure. But yeah, who is the best play when it comes to position against position? None of that really matters right now. It obviously matters in terms of who Kawhi's guarding, but like positional breakdowns, I guess the best play would be Klay Thompson against Danny Green if Kawhi is staying on Iggy. That's your best breakdown right there. Because Lowry against Steph is not the best. Definitely not Draymond against Siakam, Marcus Gasol against whoever. Obviously Kawhi against Iggy if that's how it rolls out. So probably Klay against Danny Green, I would say. And then on the flip side, it's really nobody has a great matchup for the Warriors. They're all very tough, or nobody has a great matchup for Toronto. It's just you're betting on pure skill there. Like Siakam's a great player, Lowry's out, or Leonard's a player. Lowry's gonna have a tough matchup. Danny Green or whoever's at the 2, Fred VanVleet will have a tough matchup with Klay. So on the flip side, it's probably maybe a Marc Gasol. Probably has the best matchup from that flip side. Early thoughts. I know it's early, but I'm really looking forward to watching the Browns smash this year. Yeah, the Browns are like the 5th favorites to win the Super Bowl. And like honestly, top 5 defense or whatever it was last year. Now you're adding OBJ and some other pieces. Kareem Hunt shouldn't see the field. He just shouldn't. He's a disgusting human being. But that's just my take. And yeah, I think it would be fun too. But what'd you say? You said scholarship. It's not, Sal. Good positive mindset. Yeah, man. I had a great internship last year. I got to see California for 3 months. I worked doing stuff that I really like. I did people analytics and then some more business partner type roles. And what people analytics are is just pretty much using your employees' data to find trends, whether it's seeing who needs to be trained more, seeing where your skill capability gaps lie. It's just a bunch of stuff that I pretty much get to do this. I pretty much get to use this, make models, and kind of track the data. And that's what I like to do. I mean, obviously, I like to do this. You can see it here. So a role like a people analytics is what I'm looking for. I got to do that last summer. I loved it. Got a job opportunity. Just some parts about the job opportunity. Overall, lots of things just didn't like. Wrote about it in that. Not with the company specifically, but just my own personal wants and desires, I guess. You think DK will run these $2.5 million for the rest of the finals, or is this just? I think it's a one-time thing campaign. I think that they're going to have bigger than $100,000 prize pools, maybe your $200,000. But they've been marketing this for a month now, so I don't think they're going to just do it every single day. This is their one big milli for the. They haven't done a milli for basketball, I don't think yet. So this is it. So it's definitely a one-time thing. I would put a lot of money on that. Baseball video for whoever asked about that. Neely, I think it was, whoever it was that asked about it. 30 of you in here at 9 a.m. on. What's going on, and 8? What's popping? What's happening? Happy Memorial Day. Yes. If anybody in here? In the service? Anybody? DK, no, it's hard to fill this contest. Yeah, for sure. It's very hard, especially with like 2 days notice. That's why they've been promoting it for a month now. Baseball video is about to go up. Anybody in here was in the military? Anything like that? Because thank you. You're a goddamn trooper. Basic info, public, bang. Baseball video, and I hope this is the baseball video. Where we have a baseball. There we go. I hope this is the baseball video. Let me mute this for a second just to make sure it is. It is. Beautiful. Baseball video's up. NBA first look is going up. The heck? There we go. Joe says, does anybody have the starting lineups for the NBA game on Thursday? No. Those won't be announced for a little while. Yeah, we got to wait. I'm going to be doing a breakdown on and projecting who I think will be starters, but we're not going to get those starting lineups probably till Thursday. Maybe you get them Wednesday, but probably till Thursday. I imagine the Raptors stay the same. The only thing that I could see switching is a Fred VanVleet starting for Danny Green, which wouldn't shock me. I imagine the Raptors stay the same, and I imagine Golden State stays the same as long as Boogie is still out and KD. Imagine you get 4 starters with Bell or even Bogut for like 5 minutes at the 5. And that's about it. What are we doing here? NBA DFS, DraftKings DFS NBA Finals. First look lineup. Bang, bang, bang. There we go with that. Let's go with this. Let's go with this. Let's throw our little title on this NBA guy. Is this it? Ah, wrong one. Unbelievable. Try it again. Is this it? There it is. Live chat. No. I had it right the first time. Yeah, first look. I had it right the first time. What's going on with that? Will you be doing a live chat on Thursday, says Josh Redfoot? Yes. Yes, I will. I imagine Fast Eddie Fear is doing one as well from Awesemo, who will probably garner a lot of viewership. So the game starts at 9, right? Fast Eddie Fear will be on around 8. I'll probably do one around 6 or 7 for like a half hour to an hour. I got to see. But I'm definitely going to do one Thursday, without a doubt. Most likely between 6 and 7. And no later than like 7:30. So I'll probably do for like an hour, 6 to 7, somewhere in there. People will be off work, probably for the most part, or as much as possible, we'll be able to tune in. Monday, Memorial Day, yeah. Right after this, I'm going to make some breakfast, and I'm going to break down into this 10-game MLB slate because I think there's some interesting things on an MLB slate. I know a lot of you don't really care about MLB, so I won't dive too deep into them, but reach out to me if you want to. Or ask questions here. NBA, bang. That's good to go. So the 25 of you that are still in here and have been in here for 40 minutes, who do you think Kawhi Leonard guards? Because I think it's Iggy now that I see that he's probable. And I think that's the biggest bump to a guy like Clay, who's somewhat cheap and is going to take a ton of shots with the best probably individual matchup on the slate. Let's get that money Thursday. Yeah, look. If I somehow build a lineup that has like $2,000 left on the table, a captain who's not going to be highly owned, and it binks for $1 million, and look, this somehow is literally it's hitting a lottery, right? It's not going to happen, but that happens, and we grab $1 million. Then the question that Skylar asked earlier, in terms of post graduation plans, will be this: if I win $1 million, and I guess take home from that is what, like $500K or whatever after taxes. I don't know. Do they take 50% or is DraftKings pure income? Because then it'd only be like, I'd probably set up some sort of holding company, and then I only have to give out a certain amount each year of taxes and not half of it. But regardless, yeah, I would be doing this. And I could probably pipe this up to being a full-time career if I really didn't have to worry about other things. So NBA DFS playoffs. Too much. But yeah, that's what I would do. So if we bank the milli, I'll be doing this daily for like 4 hours a day. With still good content, of course. It's pure income, but you have to claim losses or gambling income on your file. Yeah, you do. So how does that work, though, Skylar? I know it's pure income, so it goes to your overall income bracket and seeing if you get into the next percentage. And you know what's crazy? This is random, but not a lot of people know that we literally have like bracketed or tiered income. So like when they say that they're making an extra $5,000, say it goes from $60,000 to $65,000, people think that they're now 100% taxed at their $65,000 rate when it's not. Like people don't realize that. That's crazy. Like how few people actually know that when you make more money and you get into a different tax bracket, only that extra money that is over it. So if like $60,000 is the indicator for the next tax bracket, only the $5,000 is taxed at that, not your pure income. So when people are like, "Oh, I made more money, but I got taxed so much more," no, you didn't. You got taxed for $5,000 more, which is really not a lot at all. NBA, but how does So okay, I see what you're saying. It has to be claimed as a gambling, so it's just still taxed as income, which is good. Which is why I would probably create a holding company or some kind of corporation, so I only get taxed 20%. Holding company even less probably, instead of 38 or 40% that I would get taxed if I instantly became a millionaire. And that's what people should be doing. People should understand that that's how you have to go about that stuff. Can leave this private for now. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that. Like if they won the milli right now, they would get hit with like a shit ton, 400,000 or more in taxes, and they could easily have saved themselves probably 200,000 of that by just making a corporation for $300, upwards of $1,000 if you really want to get it by a lawyer, or starting a holding company. Stuff that will cost you, even if you pay for expert advice, like $2,000, and save you like $100,000 to $150,000. It's just people just don't know, and it's sad. Like, not because just nobody educates them on that stuff. My take on DFS of any format is simply sticking to your formula every night. If you pop a top 10 once every month, you're going to do just fine. Elliot, that's fair, but a lot of that is dependent on what your formula or your formula or your process is. It's good to identify your process after times to see if you're actually doing well. Sticking to it and being consistent is obviously good if it's working, but popping a top 10 once a month is probably not going to get you there depending on your stakes. If you're playing MLB right now and you're entering the $10 tournament every day, you're not going to pop a top 10 every month. You're just not the way. And if you do, if you pop a top 10 once a month, the payout structures, if you're finishing 10th and winning $800, are not covering you for that month of losses. In the NBA, you might be a little bit more viable. In a Millie Maker, you're definitely more viable. 10th place is like a few thousand. It should be at least. But yeah. I think that the idea of it, though, Elliot, if everything else is set up in your process, your contest selection is good on the lower tier, so you're maxing out all the lower end tournaments, so you're not really only relying on a top 10 win, then yeah, I think you should stick to your process if that's what it is. But it depends what the process is. Depends how much money you have in play. If you're playing it smart and it's working, then yeah, stick to your process. But most people don't have a smart process. But I think that based on the way you frame the question, that you have your process down, which is good. Will you start, or really the statement, will you start doing WNBA, says Josh? Yeah, not yet, though. Not yet. I need a week or two. Look, I can go out here and just for the idea of content, give you WNBA picks videos like I do for all my stuff with picks. Do that. But I don't think it would be very smart to give you that without any sort of indication of what the minutes are totally looking like for rotation. They're totally looking like in these new teams. I'm not playing WNBA, so why would I give advice on it right now? Like, I don't think that at least based on the other sports that I'm playing, the other things that I'm doing, don't have the utmost confidence in the WNBA. And there really should be nobody right now who has the utmost confidence in the WNBA because a lot of things just aren't secure. They've each played literally a game. I would like to break into MLB, but I can't justify doing endless amounts of research to find someone that will hit home runs. It's almost like picking a needle out of a haystack. Yeah, it is, but it can become a lot more simpler than that. And once again, it can be so much more, it's still variant. You should not just be picking 8 individual batters for MLB. You need to be stacking. And now you're going to see people hit tournaments that aren't stacking, and usually it's on smaller slates. Like a 10-game slate today, if there's not at least a 4-man stack in there, I'd be shocked. Because that's what it is. You're not just the only one doing it. It's comical when you tweeted about Story yesterday going 0 for 5 at 5Ks. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I paid up for Trevor Story because he's in Coors Field, and I still finished well in the money. And a lot of that is because my pitchers, Brandon Woodruff and Zach Wheeler, combining for like 65 points. But yeah, 0 for 5 5Ks, you pay up for like the 4th most expensive player on the slate. That's going to happen, but you'd still win. But the problem is, there's a couple ways to think about it. I don't think MLB is unwinnable because of the actual way that you get fantasy points, home runs, pitchers, guys just scoring in bunches on the same team for correlation and stacks. I think it's not viable because of the payout structures. And if you listen to Manny Laura's podcast, you listen to anybody who's anybody right now, unless you're an Osimo or a guy who's just banking every single night, and a lot of them aren't. It's really like Osimo and like 3 other guys right now. It's the payout structures that really stink. You're finishing 4th and winning $1,500 instead of what you should be winning like $4,000, which doesn't seem like a lot of money difference, or maybe it does, and it should, because $2,500 for that rare of a win is high. But in terms of trying to guess home runs, everybody's in the same boat with you. That's the problem. So everybody's at the same like skill level for that. But you're not just trying to guess 8 individual guys to hit home runs. And you can do it because there's predictors right here. ISO. ISO is isolated power. Lefties and righties. Which pitchers give up the most power? Which teams hit for the most power? Which teams don't strike out as much, so they have hard hit contact? Which pitchers give up the most hard hit contact? So there's ways to predict it, but you're not trying to just pick 8 guys to hit home runs. You're trying to pick a team, whether it's a 5-man stack for Draftkings or a 3-man or a 4-man stack. And you're trying to pick a team that has 1 or 2 guys who might hit a home run in that stack, but really guys who will get a single. And then since they get a single, that's 3 points. And if their guy behind them hits a home run, well, not only do you get the home run, 14, 16 points, however many guys are on base, but you get the run scored for the guy on base. There's an extra 2 points. So it's more so picking the right stacks. And the biggest thing for me, though, is pitchers. Pitching is the biggest percentage of it for me. I really don't like playing MLB. I agree. It's I think it's so difficult. Yeah, that's the thing. The beginning of the year for MLB, everybody's going to try it, and by a month in, right around now, everybody's going to bail from it because you're going to lose more times than not because you are relying on a stack going off. But when you do bink, you have a great chance of binking high because if your correlation hits, not many people probably have that same correlated stack. But yeah, I think MLB is very close to being. It's the worst format in terms of their contest structures. It's terrible. They're trying to fix it. FanDuel's getting a little bit better with it as the weeks have gone on. Draftkings is still terrible, but it right now is the best in terms of overall prize pools. Just pure money going to first because it's still better than an NBA showdown, and there's just no other prize pools that high outside of golf, which I do recommend golf. I like golf a lot. All right, I've been on here for 50 minutes. I got to go do something like eat and work out and whatever else. The NBA video, it's got to be up, right? Is this thing processing yet? Come on. What are we doing here? NBA video, MLB video is up. Go watch it. Hit it with a like. Do whatever you got to do. NBA video is about to be up. It's uploading. Yep. Thank you guys so much. Check out Patreon if you want any of this stuff. There's the plug at the end. Peace out. Reach out to me on Twitter. I should be able to get back to you. I haven't had any tweets coming in yet, so if you reach out now, I could get back to you. But I'm going to go make some breakfast, chill out, and apply to some jobs. So peace out, gang. Bang, bang.